So I decided to make this video specifically if you got like an old hit and miss or a throttle governed engine like this one, and you're trying to figure out the ignition system on it, and you want to make your own buzz coil. You got to use a buzz coil, and you don't want to buy one off of eBay or Amazon for $100 or a couple $100. So I decided to show you how to make one and also how it ties into the system. So the first thing to know is, looking at your engine, you got to figure out where the timing point is on it. On this particular engine, this is a Ottawa Warner engine out of an Ottawa saw. So it's got the mark you see there on the camshaft, and then it's got this finger. So this spins around and touches that. We've also got our spark plug and then a ground to the engine block. So 3 wires total come off of the engine. You got the wire from your switch plate, your ground wire, and your spark plug wire. So essentially that is completing your ground circuit, which is what will switch the coil's power on and off. Going over here to the homemade buzz coil. It's going to be helpful to get a couple feet of different colors of wire, some spade and ring terminals. You're going to need a 40 amp minimum relay. This is a Hella relay, 12 volt, 40 amp, with 5 spades on the back, labeled just like that. You're going to need a small battery of some sort. This is a jet ski battery. You'll need a couple alligator clamps or battery clamps. You'll need a condenser, and you'll need an internally resisted 12 volt automotive coil. If you need one with an external resistor, you'll have to wire the external resistor into play. So first things first, start with your ignition coil and your condenser. Take your condenser and strip the wire that comes off the end if you had a loop, and take a 3 feet piece of wire and crimp a spade terminal to the end of that. So you'll have a 3 feet piece of wire and then your condenser crimped together with a spade terminal. Then you're going to take the ground strap for your condenser and put that to the positive post on your coil. You're going to take another piece of wire and you're going to make a jumper. So take one piece of wire, cut it to about 3 inches, put a ring terminal on one side, take another piece of wire, cut it to another 3 inches. You're going to join those 2 pieces of wire with a spade terminal, and then at the other end of that 3-inch piece of wire, you're going to have another spade terminal. So it goes ring terminal, spade terminal, spade terminal. It's just a loop. So it helps if you can find a schematic for your particular relay if the back side of the relay isn't labeled with the numbers. So you'll need to find a diagram online that shows what particular spade is in accordance with the number. Your condenser with your positive lead, spade connected together, go to terminal 30. You've got your spade terminal with your ground connection and another 5-inch piece of wire going to the negative on the coil. So you've got those 2 spade terminal clamped together. Those go to terminal 85. You've got your ring terminal wire that comes off the positive side of the coil. That goes to 86, and then it jumpers off of 86 over to 87A. So one of your terminals on your relay is not going to be used. 87 will not be used, only 87A. So once you have your coil made and put together, you're going to take your ground wire from your block and you're going to clamp that to your negative battery cable. So your negative battery cable clamps from your engine block ground, runs up to post 85 on your relay, which then jumpers over to the negative side of the coil with the ring terminal. Then you're going to take your wire from your breaker point, and that's going to get hooked directly to the negative on your battery. Then you've got your positive terminal. We're going to clamp that onto the battery. That runs up to terminal 30 with your condenser. So it runs up to terminal 30, runs into the condenser, goes through the condenser to the strap, positive side of the coil. Then it runs out of this ring terminal here. This jumpers over to 86. 86 loops directly over to 87A. Terminal 87 does not get used. And every time your engine spins over, it's going to complete that circuit and give you a spark. Now with the spark plug out of the engine, I'm going to demonstrate how hot of a spark this setup, this buzz coil setup, really delivers. Here we go. So there you have it. It's going to fire on your timing point. So you know your timing is right. So there you have it. Don't spend over $100. Most of the time, if you work on this sort of stuff, you probably have this stuff laying around. This was a trim and tilt relay out of a Johnson Evinrude outboard. That condenser is a Johnson Evinrude outboard condenser, and the coil is a 12-volt coil out of a OMC stern drive. The battery is out of a jet ski. All I needed to get was the spade terminals and ring terminals, and a section of spark plug wire. I hope this video helped get you closer to getting your hit and miss or throttle governed engine back up and running, or whatever setup you might have that would need a buzz coil. Thanks for watching.